Please. If I can have everybody's attention, here are the answers to today's quiz. We did somewhat better, but we're going to have to kick it up a notch, as Emerald would say, tomorrow. Okay? I think we have 400 so far altogether in class, at least 3, maybe 4. Obviously, they don't need to take the quiz, but the rest of you guys, God bless. God bless you. We need to definitely kick it up a notch. So the first question is about a right triangle, and in a right triangle, we always worry or think about using the Pythagorean theorem. Pythagorean theorem, remember yesterday I forgot to draw this little line here? We draw the arrow across to get the hypotenuse, and we remember leg squared plus leg squared is hypotenuse squared. It says here, AC is 8, there's AC. And it says AB is 10, there's AB, so I put the 8 and the 10 there. And then the missing side I call x. So x squared plus 8 squared is 10 squared. And I just start working out the numbers. Solving the equation, subtract 64 from both sides, square root. 6 is the answer. Number 2, keeping that common base, subtract exponents, 10 minus negative 4 is 14. I think that's the exact same question as yesterday. I think it is. I'm not sure, but I think so.
No, because yesterday's was 12.
Oh, okay. Number 3 says begin with the point B. You want to go 4 places to the right and up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That leads me to the point 06, which is choice C. And then as far as scientific notation goes, you know, if I were a kid sitting in class, I would get really annoyed. My temptation is to be a little rebellious. That's kind of natural in me. And I would kind of roll my eyes and say, do I really have to do 5.3 times 4.1? And then I would look at every single choice. And in every choice, I get 2173. So what do you think the numbers are going to work out to? 2173. And then you would know to move the decimal 2 places. So it originally comes out to be 21.73, add the exponents times 10 to the 9th. But then I need to balance it out and move that decimal, so I create, Frankie, a number between 1 and 10, and that would be 2.173 times 10 to the 10th. Choice D. All right, any questions? All right. Now, I really did think yesterday went extremely well. I thought you guys did a fantastic job. We need to, I think the general concept of how to solve this 2 parallel lines cut by a transversal, I think our general concept is pretty good about this. But remember we talked a little bit about standardized tests, and by the way, one more time, I'm just bad with stuff like this. How many people are going to take the state test this year?
Well, do you have any of those numbers? 'Cause I didn't-
There should be one in the back over there. How many people here, yes, how many people here expect to take the state test? We got 1, and I know Manny does also 2, and Candace 3. Okay. Listen, whatever you want to do with the state test. If you want to take it, fine. If you don't want to take it, fine. I don't really care. I do care that the rights of your family are respected. That, I think, is really important. I think family is much more important than government. But there was a day, back in the day, when all of this stuff about testing just started. First off, let me talk a little bit about teams. Joe, you played JV basketball this year, right? Did they video the games? Oh, did you happen to see, after a varsity game and they videoed the game, did Coach Dortone take the kids in the room and break it down and show them what they did on the film? Yeah. Do you think that helps? Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a really big help. Now, I know in wrestling, we used to do it, when I coached middle school wrestling here, we did it for middle school wrestling. And we also did it in the high school wrestling. And we would take a video of every single kid, every single match we did. And then we would copy the video onto a DVD that had each of the kids' wrestling matches. So like Randy's on the team this year. And this is what, your 4th or 5th match? You would have a DVD of every match in order that you've wrestled so far this year. And then during lunch, you would take out the DVD. Or nowadays we have Facebook, you can put them on Facebook. And I would watch that DVD with you. And we would see, what did you do right, what did you do wrong? And it was such a great tool Do you know what a switch is? Okay. Do you know what the number one thing a kid does wrong with a switch? They reach up for the head. You gotta reach inside the leg. If you reach inside the leg, get the pressure on the arm, the switch works. If you reach up by the head, he steps over, you pin yourself. Now, I could explain that to him until I'm blue in the face. But he watches it once and watches himself wrestle. He'll go, oh, and he'll understand, and he'll become better. Every single baseball player, every single one of them has videotapes of their at-bats. Every at-bat they do their whole life. And when they go in and they practice and then they get an hour between games, they watch themselves. The pitchers watch themselves pitch. They're constantly, put that away, they're constantly looking around to see where they can improve. Now, when all this testing stuff first came out with the state, there used to be this website called datamentor.org, and I love that website. It was like a videotape of me teaching my personal classes. Because at the end of every year, you guys, there was no opting out back then. Every kid took the test all across the state. It was one test for math. It took place over 3 days, just like they do now. Tests were similar, not quite as hard. And everybody would take the test, there was no opting out. The results would go into the state, and then over the summer, I would get the results back. And they would show me every single question on the test. And I would click on the question number, and a little graph would come up. And the graph would show how many kids all across New York State got the question right, percentage-wise. How many kids all across Suffolk County got it right, percentage-wise. How many kids in Patchogue Medford got it right, percentage-wise. And how many kids got it right in my classes, percentage-wise. And what I always looked for is that my kids, the line of my kids, was at the height of the highest group or higher. I wanted my kids to perform better than everybody else. Now, it wasn't always true, but usually it was. And then, once in a while, I would find a question where my kids did worse. And I would immediately say, what did I do wrong? Just like with that switch. It's obvious, you reached on the video, you reached up for the guy's head. So you reached back, you waffled. If you're up at bat, it might be obvious that you put your weight on your front leg, and the whole world can see that. Now, I learned there were certain kinds of questions that my kids got wrong, that I thought they would be great at. And this is one of those questions. Now, if you remember, the last couple of days, we've done questions like this. I would say to you, okay, this here is 150 degrees. How big is that? Everybody, how big is that? Lenny, hand me game. What would it be, everybody?
30.
No, this one down here.
150.
150.
Oh.
And my kids were awesome at getting those right. And I start looking at the test, and every single question where they gave a diagram, and you could use letters or numbers. They could do something like this. They could write down 8n and 6n plus 40 here and here, and you could give it to the kids, and the kids were fantastic. They'd look at it, they go, oh, look, if I do drag and drop, it lands on top, so therefore 8n equals 6n plus 40 minus 6n minus 6n, and the kids would get them all right. They rocked them. My kids were better than the state, better than the district, better than the county. They were amazing. And then, all of a sudden, I would get the same exact diagram. But they'd do one thing different. This is what they'd do. They would do this. No, not the check. They would do this word problem. And they would say the following. In the measure of angle ABF is 4x minus 11. And the measure of angle BFG is 2x plus 25. Fine. And my kids were the worst, doing way worse than other places. And it was enough for me to know they weren't the problem, I was the problem. Where was I making a mistake? What was I doing wrong? So the next year when we got to this unit, I walked around the room. And I looked at everybody's paper. Everybody had a blank. Nobody even tried it. And finally I said to one of the kids, why aren't you doing it? They go, I have no idea what it means. I said, what? He said, we don't know what that means. I said, how can you not know what that means? I assumed that every kid who walked into my classroom understood that sentence. And the truth is, none of them did. So all of their ability that they can do with these things, because they can get all the other kind of questions right, they couldn't get right with this. Was it because they didn't understand the angle relationships? No. Was it because they were stupid? No. It was because they couldn't understand the sentence. As soon as I explained the sentence to them, we went from worse than everybody to better than everybody. Because all of that natural ability began to come out. I'll show you what I mean by this. This is the part that I think you don't know what it means. This says if, now most kids don't even know what the M means. The M means the measure. It means the size. If the measure of angle ABF, then they didn't even know where angle ABF was. This is how you find angle ABF. Everybody, put your pencil right on A. Then go to B, then go to F. That is angle ABF. Hold on. Okay? What? No, lock in on this right now. This is angle ABF. Now, the next one says, what angle? Take your pencil, you figure out BFG. BFG. Put your pencil on B, go to F, go to G. Okay. Now, here's where we go. B to F to G. So I have this angle, and I have this angle. Now, you tell me, are those two angles equal, or do they add up to 180? Take a look. Are they equal, or do they add up to 180? They're equal. What kind of angle is this? It's an acute angle. What kind of angle is this? All of the acutes are always equal to each other. Another way to think of it. If I did drag and drop, wouldn't this guy land right here? Or this guy here? And doesn't that make them vertical? So therefore vertical angles are equal. So once the kids figured out that's what it was asking about, then they knew that this guy, 4x minus 11, had to equal this guy, 2x plus 25, and now it was like what they were already great at. So back then, the testing taught me as a teacher that my kids were suffering because there was something I wasn't doing correctly as a teacher. I was assuming they understood something that they didn't understand. And sometimes it's really, really hard for a teacher because when I look at these things, I gloss over them because I've been doing it for so long. And when I taught back then, I glossed over it. And it made my kids suffer. But once I began to see, that test would show me, I learned to correct things. And I think it made all teachers much better. I think every teacher began to say, oh, I could do this better, I could do that better. The current testing system, they took that website down. We can't get access to it anymore.
Why not?
That's a whole nother matter. But I would say this, if, as they like to tell the public, they were truly interested in helping teachers become better teachers, they never would have taken that website down. Never in a million years. The other thing is this. Not only did they take the website down, but I'm not even allowed to talk to you or any other teacher or educator anywhere in the state of New York about a question on the test, unless they release it to the public. So in other words, if you guys screw up a question on the test, I never get to see the question. And if I happen to look at it in the book during the test and had concerns that my kids might not do well with it, I'm not even allowed to talk to anybody about that.
That's dumb.
Absolutely idiotic. If we're here to get education better, we need to do it like it used to be done. So I don't have a big problem with these big tests. I have a big problem with two things. Stressing you guys out to the max, making you think you're not smart because you can't get them right. That's ridiculous. And I have a problem with not using it to help teachers become better teachers. That should happen. If they give you the test, and I look at it, for instance, I think Candace is a great student, I think Michael's a great student, and I know Manny's gonna take the test too, he's a great student. All three of you guys are excellent students. No, you really are, you're three of the best students I have in all of Math 8. You take that test, if there's a question the three of you guys can't get right, there's a pretty good chance no one's getting it right. I need to know what I did wrong, so I can become a better teacher. But they won't even let me know. They won't even let me know how I can do things to get better. Okay, so let's solve this out here. Is this the same side situation or opposite side? Opposite side. So I'm going to go minus 2x, die. 2x minus 11 equals 25. Add 11. I'm going to come up over here. 2x is 36.
18.
Divide by 2, you get 18. So that is part A, 18. Now, kids did not understand the next step. The measure of angle ABF. Well, this guy here is ABF. So I have to take my 18 and plug it in for x. Just like, Ava, a minute ago, you asked me about that question with the input. I'm using it as input. So I got to do 4 times 18 minus 11. 4 times 18 is 72. You have calculators. That should not be an issue. Minus 11 is 61. And then I go into my diagram. Let me change colors here. I go into my diagram. ABF is 61. And now it wants angle BFG. B to F to G. That's this guy. If this one's 61, what's that one? 61. Good. Okay. So I learned you didn't get this wrong because you didn't understand the diagram. Kids, well, I say you, back then those kids, they got it wrong because they didn't understand what the question wanted them to do. And once they understood what they wanted them to do, then they could be successful. So now, let's take that idea and let's apply it here. Again, you need to figure out, and again, you remember how you mark it? You put your pen on N, you go to Y, you go to J, and then this one, figure those two. This is an old state assessment test question right here. This is one of those ones that my kids screwed up in class, not because of them, but because of me. Alex, no, back in your seat. No, what did we tell you yesterday? No, right, back in seat, let them do their thing. Ask permission. If you're gonna get out of your seat, hand's gonna go up. Bless you.
Bless you.
Okay, so let's use our pen. Angle NYJ, N to Y to J. There it is. And then FYB, F to Y to B. Now, what do you know about those two angles?
They're equal.
They're equal, good. So FYB is 3n plus 12, and NYJ is 7n minus 20, and you guys just told me a second ago that they're equal. So therefore, 7n minus 20 has to equal 3n plus 12.
Doesn't matter what you put it in?
Nope.
Could you do,
Nope. Same side, opposite side.
opposite?
Minus 3n. Minus 3n,
Would it always be
die.
on the opposite side?
I'm sorry?
Would it always be on the opposite side?
Generally speaking, whenever they're equal,
Yeah.
generally, they're going to be opposites. And whenever they're same side, same operation, it's gonna be that they add up to 180, generally, or 90.
Okay.
Add 20, that's not absolute, Alex, I don't want you to think it always is, but way more often than not.
Okay.
Divide by 4,
Wait, I got,
and is equal.
it equals 12.
I got equals.
Got it to what?
I got -2.
No, I don't know what you did, but
It's
I can
like-
tell you that when you subtract 3 n's, you get 4 n, and when you add
Yeah.
20, you get 32.
But my equation was 12 equals 4n minus 20.
That's true, then you gotta add the 20. Yeah,
Oh,
you
I
added-
subtracted
I think you
20.
subtracted it, yeah. Okay, as far as angle relationship goes, they are vertical angles. Okay, the next thing it wants is angle, oh, now here's one. So this is how that test, back in the day when we had that data mentor, it helped make me so much of a better teacher. Because, so let's say the first 2 years my kids did really well on the diagrams and then they struggled with this. So then I said to myself, oh, they got this. My kids know how to do this. I don't need to show them anything, they're good. And the next year, they put the following question on the test. And the kids messed it up. And at first, I got angry, and I said, they just did this one, they got it right, how could they get this wrong? And then I said to myself, stupido. I said, they didn't draw a picture on this one. I said, I never had the kids draw pictures. So the next year, I had them draw pictures. And from that point forward, my kids always aced this part of the test. So again, testing can be good, it's just not guaranteed to be good. Line AB intersects, AB intersects CD and E. Hey!
What the?
Right, what the hey? AB intersects CD at E. Now, I will start marking my diagram. Angle AEC, A to E to C, that's that guy. BED, B to E to D, that's that guy. What do you know about those two angles?
Equal.
So therefore, 4n minus 1 equals n plus 26. Opposite side, opposite operation. 3n minus 1 is 26, add 1. 3n is, why are you packing up? 3n is 27, divide by 3, n is 9. Listen, hey, if there's two morals to today's story. First one is know how to use your pen, point to point to point to define the angle. And the second one is, whether it's me or whether it's you, we are constantly learning what we need to get better at. And we gotta think about where we screw up and make sure that we don't continue to screw up.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that side of the room, put them away. Next side, follow up. Hasta la vista. Vaya con Dios. Toodaloo, ta-ta. Arrivederci. Smile a lot. Ciao. Arrivederci.